That girl Henny. Y'all gotta go to her channel.
The girl Henny, do you know who she is?
She a blonde or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, where this lady come from?
Girl been on your ass.
She on your life, G.
Shout out to Henny over there.
What's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to the bar. It's your favorite guys and doc tender, that girl Henny. And today we are going to be pouring up on a whole smorgasbord of things. So if you are new here, because we gained a lot of new people to the bar, welcome. Please be sure to like, comment, and of course, if you are not already, subscribe to the channel. Click that notification bell, select all so that you'll get notified whenever I do a video. And if you are returning a Mob Down Henny Gang member, now let's get into pouring up. So as you guys know, I was at the Chrisean Holy Hands Malone versus Zenith Zion event, the fight that took place at Harrah's Casino in Chester, Pennsylvania, put on by X Rumble, and X Rumble is owned by Damian Feldman, who's of Celebrity Boxing. So I was there. Y'all did see the footage. If you didn't see the footage, it is on my page. Let me get these comments up on the screen for y'all so that y'all can see yourselves on the screen as well. Hey, now. She said, hey, Gookie Butt. Hey, everybody. So you know that Chrisean can never do anything without Wack 100 and the whole entourage from the Blueface side of things. Having something negative to say. So first we had Blueface's mom, Carlissa, aka Carzilla, who was over there on her IG, once again taking jabs at Chrisean's faith, talking about, just because you have favor doesn't mean that another person doesn't have favor. Meanwhile, she's always talking about her family, saying favor is not fair, that they are the chosen ones, and always downplaying anything that has anything to do with Chrisean. And then you have Wack 100, who gets on here and he does his clubhouse ranting and denture clicking and all of that he does, as well as, a smear campaign. Basically, he gets on any platform that he can get on, from DJ Vlad to academics to anybody that'll have him, to try to spew his venom. And so this has been a continual thing that we have watched go down and happen for the past few years. Well, this weekend was a major event that took place, because while people have been in these internet streets saying that Chrisean can't do anything without Blueface and that she needs Blueface to go viral and she needs Blueface to keep her internet career going, it looks like she's proved all of those people wrong, because this weekend had absolutely nothing to do with Blueface. Not once did she mention Blue. Not once was he involved in anything that happened. And Chrisean went hella viral. And when I say hella viral, I mean she was everywhere for 3 days. Yesterday it was Saturday night, she was viral. Sunday all day she was viral. Monday all day she was viral. It started trickling off a little bit yesterday. Today people are still talking about it. We're talking about it. And whoever doesn't want to talk about it, don't talk about it. But we're going to talk about it over here. So, of course, with Chrisean having her win, Wack had something to say, saying that she barely won the fight. He's had a lot of negative input that was put down, but a lot of people may forget or may not know, because a lot of people are new here. Again, welcome to all of the new people, that Wack not only has a personal investment in this, because number one, when Chrisean and Blueface were together, Blueface could not be controlled or contained by anyone. They could not tell him anything. There was episodes on Crazy of Love where he told Blue to come to the studio and not bring Chrisean, and he brought Chrisean with him anyway and had her in the booth. And that became a major problem. Blueface was off making money on his own that Wack could not dip his grubby little hands into, because if you remember when I read the transcripts from the Games court case against Priscilla Rainey, remember the transcripts, Wack said that he likes to help people out and keep them in debt and keep them in his back pocket so that he could always pull them out and basically drain them for whatever monetary gain that he can get. I'm paraphrasing, but that is basically what he said. So he likes to keep people in trouble so that they always need him. Now, With Blueface making money without Wack getting his hands into any of it, that cut Wack out of a lot of money, because Blueface made a lot of money with Chrisean, because by the time she got ready to have her baby, Chrisean was estimated value was at $2 million. But let Blueface and them tell it, they didn't make no money off of her. Yeah, that's a lie. Especially when it's already been said that all of her money was going into Blueface's account and he was taking her bread. Put her out while she was pregnant with not a dime. Basically did the Ike and told her that he gave her a name and she can go do what she wants with it, but that she was not going to get a dime and she was going to leave the way that she came in. Well, I will tell you this, he is eating those words, because Chrisean has come out better. A lot of people are saying a lot of positive things when it comes down to her and this new move that she's made. Chrisean has stepped out into professional boxing. Some people debate whether it's professional or not, but it is professional boxing. She has a whole training team. Shout out to her trainers. The trainers that she has are the same trainers that train Gervonta Tank Davis. Okay. Listen, I know a lot of people have a lot of things that they want to say, but for someone to have their first fight, one of the things that people honed in on was the fact that she did not do what she was told to do in training. Well, it was her first time getting in a boxing ring. If you've never boxed before and you've only been trained for 3 months, of course, there's going to be maybe you're going to forget some things, because when it's time to fight, you just thinking fight. All right. But let's also be very clear. The same can be said for Zenith as well, because it was looking like it was turning into a wrestling match at one point in time. Either way, shout out and salute to both women for getting in that boxing ring. Shout out to everybody who was on the card to fight that night, that got into the ring, who did their training, took this seriously. And whether you took a win or an L, it is still a win because you got in the ring. But according to Wack 100, it was barely a win. And let's I'm not going to play the whole video of what was said, because I just feel like there's no need to play all of it. But I am going to show y'all what was said in a clip from off of my Instagram page before we get into a few other things. All right. So this is the audio of Wack and what he had to say.
I felt like Chrisean won barely in the clips they putting up because the girl dropped her too.
Whoa, Wack. But when we say drop, like, I got to look back at it. It looked like she lost her footing. Did she get hit?
Let me tell you something, Emily. Mm-hmm. You know this. If you in a match with, right? Mm-hmm. If you stand in front of a mother and a mother ain't touching you, right? You standing in front of a mother. If a mother make contact with you, and from that contact, your ass hit that pavement, what is it?
No, that's a knockdown for sure. So that's what I was like. I didn't catch the contact. I got to go back and watch it.
There was no contact. It was a slip.
Okay. Because for some reason, I just seemed like the stumble and like.
What I did see was this. Mm-hmm. Is Chrisean won on just her fighting. She wasn't in there doing nothing they taught her to do. She said it. She said, I didn't do nothing they taught me to do. I just try to fight.
Oh, she did say that?
Let's know that them future fights that she gets up there with people that can really box is going to work against her. So that technique and the footwork, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Her movement, her footwork, she wasn't keeping her hands up. It was like, it was, yeah. I mean, she had some power.
It's always going to be a hater that has something to say. You understand? There's a difference between criticism, constructive criticism, and just straight out hatred. There's no way that anybody can say this is constructive criticism to me. I'm not going to believe it, given the history of how he has conducted himself. When it comes down to her, it's never anything positive. Okay. But I do have something that I am going to play for y'all a little bit later on that had me side-eyeing. We talked a little bit about it this morning on the Instagram live, but let's finish out what he had to say, because I'm going to show y'all the footage.
Power. That's what worked for her. The power.
She'd have been fighting somebody her height. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that girl was tiny.
What I respect about the old girl, she wasn't scared to get in there.
Now, it's funny that he talks about fighting somebody that's her own height when Chibu was not the same height as Blueface. In fact, Chibu was shorter and Chibu presented heavier than Blueface as well. So he's got a lot of nerve saying all of this when it comes down to Chrisean and the fight that she had. Let's continue.
She got in there. She was in there. She was trying to brawl.
That fight.
I felt like Chrisean won barely in the clips they put. Barely. I would either, if Eddie gave Chrisean a draw to say they robbed her, but she landed more blows, but they both got dropped.
That one she fell, everybody keeps saying she slipped.
That wasn't no slip, nigga.
That wasn't no slip. All right, let's pull that up. Let's pull it up. Shall we? Do I need to go back? No, I don't need to go back because I slowed it down for y'all. Hold on. Didn't I slow it down or did I just clip up that part? I just clipped up that part. But okay, let's go through it again slowly. So here we see it. I had a better clip for y'all. I just did not have that clip set up. You see, swinging. There was no hit. That is a stumble. That is a stumble. This is how it looks when you stumble. So while he's out here hating and people are trying to understand why, Wack's hatred, I just explained to you why he has this thing against Chrisean so bad. Because he did not make money off of her. Okay, could not make money off of her, could not even control his client while she was with him at all. Shout out to Jamie Burton for the super chat. Thank you so much, Jamie. You are a person who always supports the channel, and I appreciate every contribution that you make to the channel. Absolutely. I'm going to get into some of y'all comments in a minute, but there's something deeper going on here that a lot of people may have picked up or may not have picked up. You see, if you remember, I've been telling y'all about Wack and Kim having this divorce that's been going on, and I've been giving y'all this divorce in bits and pieces. So this is more than just a matter of him not liking Chrisean. It's a battle of the management. It's a battle of management. And the way that I have been looking at this battle between Wack and Kim as managers is like Kim is the Suge Knight of managers, while Wack is the Diddy of managers. So you've got Death Row versus Bad Boy all over again, with Kim being Death Row and Wack being Bad Boy, because Kim is the manager that doesn't want to be all in the videos, all on the podcast, dancing, yapping. She stays behind the scene in a managerial position, while Wack wants to be all in the videos because he's been in music videos, he's been on the TV shows, he's been making sure that his face was seen, and he wants to be all on the podcast too. So he's Diddy in this scenario, and Kim is Suge Knighting that ass. Now, Kim did drop into the comment section, and she did have a comment to say about Wack and the conversation he was having on Clubhouse. Let me get that back up here for y'all really quickly so y'all can see what Kim had to say.
That was a hit.
So I hope y'all can see that. Yep, y'all can see that. Kim jumped in the comment section and said, only thing that matters is that she won. We shouldn't expect anything less from a person who will never congratulate anyone for doing something amazing they never anticipated. Boom. Boom. Shout out to Kim. Let me just say, Kim is a class act. I had the opportunity to observe her moving around. Kim is very classy. I don't understand how she ended up with Wack, I guess because they were high school sweethearts, but Kim is a class act all in herself, okay? But now let's take a deeper dig into why things are the way that they are and why Wack would be so critical of everything that has anything to do with Chrisean. Because let me explain to y'all something. Kim has been around for a while. Kim has taken on the managerial position a while ago. This is not something that is brand new. Maybe it's new to some people, but it's not new to everyone who's paid attention to what's been going on in this sector and what's been going on with Chrisean. So everything that Chrisean has done business-wise, Kim has been there, okay? She's obviously been guiding her client into success while Wack is driving his client into the ground because there's no projects that we're seeing coming out that's successful. Blueface has done a Fresh Out of Love reality show, hasn't come out yet, which, by the way, Wack, R&B, and Blueface are partners on their Just the Content or Nothing But Content, whatever the hell the business is called. They're business partners on that. Blueface's music. He's not dropping any music because the lawsuits that were going on while Blueface was in prison, Wack didn't bother to send lawyers to try to handle any of that information, any of those cases. So Blueface lost his cases. There's still a lien on his home right now as we speak. There is still Soulja Boy's baby mama who had her court lawsuit against him that she won in a default judgment, and she gets his royalties. So every time anybody streams Blueface's music, guess what? That money from those streams, it goes straight to Soulja Boy's baby mama, Jacqueline Martinez. So y'all go run up Blueface's music, even if you play it on mute, and get Jackie her money. Then there's Tenquabius Trailer, who is the person who was pumed in the hand during the Euphoric Gentleman's nightclub incident. And he sued Blueface and won for $1 million and some change. All three of these cases are collecting and accruing interest per day. So the last time we checked in back in December, he was just about at $20 million in debt. It is now April. That's 4 months ago. I would like to estimate that it's probably sitting at about 22, maybe 23 million. We'll do a calculation in another live, but you have $20+ million in debt. Your client has. We don't see Chrisean with $20 million in debt. We don't see Chrisean not taking things seriously. And I feel like Kim has been a suited match for her. Okay? So while one manager is pushing and elevating their client to greatness, the other one is allowing the other one to be trash, because all Blueface's content now is nothing but womanizing, degrading, humiliating. He has a pregnant girlfriend named Nevaeh, who he goes off on live streams with other females, leaving her at home. He's left her in the house to go be with another female. And just recently, he left Nevaeh in the house to go get some mouth mop from another female, which he allowed to be audible on his kick stream. He was also filmed having some secretions on his chin on a live stream. And this is what you are encouraging your client to do. He went from reality TV, rapper, to a streamer, and your streams are trash. Meanwhile, everyone was saying that Chrisean was the problem. Matter of fact, let me take this down for a second, and let me go to one of my faves, and show y'all what I'm saying is not something that is made up, because I do know that there are people who do not keep up with Blueface and the circus. They just get bits and pieces of the circus here and there. But I'm going to go to the hunch. And hopefully, I know she has the audio somewhere on her page of all of this. Okay, here it is. Let's put it back up on the, because I know it sounds so horrible that you don't believe that it's real. Y'all heard enough? I think y'all heard enough. Shout out to Stewie the Hunchback.
Huh? Show me your beard.
Right here on his chin. Secretion on the hairs of his chinny chin chin.
What's that, brother? There's some white in here.
Did I get it?
Gross. But let me tell you, go make sure y'all follow Stewie the Hunchback, because Stewie the Hunchback keeps up with all of the things that are Nevaeh and Blueface. Disgusting. I know. Some of y'all was like, nah, you making that up. Am I? This is what his client is doing. But now let's get into some of what else is going on behind the scenes with all of this, because not only does Wack have an issue with Chrisean, as you can see, Wack also has an issue with his wife, because Kim is still Wack's wife. They're not divorced. They're separated, but not divorced. Sorry, R&B, you're not the wife. You're not the wife. Not the wife. You know, like, not the mama, not the wife. Am I in Africa, y'all? And we're going to walk this thing back for a lot of y'all who have not heard any of this. Now, I know some of y'all have been catching bits and pieces of bits and pieces of this coverage of the divorce, but we're going to put the whole story together for everybody who is tuning in, so you actually can understand what's been going on with Kim and Wack and what's happening also with a bunch of other things, because people are wondering why Blueface is not training anymore. Well, baby, maybe I should draw your attention to here first. I think we should start here instead. Let's start with this documentation right here, shall we? So what are we looking at, Henny? Well, what we're looking at is a plaintiff's claim in order to go to small claims court. Now, who is it that is putting this order in? His name is David Kaminsky. Now, you may not know that name, but David Kaminsky was the trainer for Blueface. Dun, dun, dun. And he is taking Wack to court. Dun, dun, dun. And why is he taking Wack to court? Let's get into it, y'all. Oh, I forgot to do something. Let me go ahead. I hear you. Yes, I swiped myself out. Leave me alone. You know, if I don't mute myself or swipe myself out of frame, you know it's not a show. No, we don't want to use that one. Okay, we're going to use that one. So let's get into this, shall we? So first of all, David is suing Wack for $12,500. And the reason being is because he was hired by the defendant, Cash McElroy Jones, the manager of Jonathan Porter, also known as Blueface, with whom he had previously done business. Wack agreed to pay him a flat fee of $12,500 to train Blueface for a professional boxing fight over approximately 9 weeks, with payment due at the conclusion of the fight, regardless of the outcome. I fully performed all agreed upon services, including traveling to Miami, the fight location, and dedicating my time to the training. Despite multiple requests and Wack's assurance that payment would be made, Wack has failed to pay any portion of the agreement amount to date. When did this happen? March 14th of 2026. And the time period in which he trained Blueface was from January 12th to March 13th of this year. So when they asked how he calculated his fee, David said, I charge a flat fee of $12,500 for my training services, which was agreed upon in advance and was not contingent on the outcome of the fight or any third-party payment. Now, David goes on to say, on March 20th, I requested an update and was told to give me a few days. On March 23rd and March 31st, Wack stated payment was almost done. And on March 24th, Wack assured David that he would be paid. On March 27th, Wack stated he was dealing with it. And on April 14th, David sent a written demand requesting payment by the end of day on April 17th, which was ignored, and he has not been paid to date. Boom. But this is not the first time that we've heard about Wack not paying debts, right? I mean, we've heard this story before, that Wack doesn't like to pay his debts that get accumulated for services for his clients. Because if y'all remember, I also told y'all that the lawyers who represented the game in the lawsuit against Priscilla Rainey, that they're suing Wack for non-payment as well. Y'all remember that? Y'all don't remember that? Let me go ahead and let me read to y'all the complaints. Let's read this again, shall we? So here are the general allegations. All right. It says the plaintiff, which is and all relevant times herein mentioned, was a limited liability partnership. Plaintiff is informed and believes, and on such information believes, alleged that the defendant, which is Cash Jones, all right. Plaintiff is ignorant of true names and the capacities. Plaintiff informed and believed to be the first cause of action. Okay, so the lawyers, hereby referred to as the incorporates, paragraph 1, on or about January 28th of 2021, plaintiff, a law firm, entered into an hourly based written retainer agreement with defendants to perform legal services in connection with an initial matter. In entering into the agreement, defendant agreed to pay plaintiff's attorney's fees based upon plaintiff's hourly rate and set forth in the agreement. Moreover, defendant, which, further enlists the legal services of plaintiff in connection with the second matter of Priscilla Rainey versus Jason Terrell Trailer, the game. Defendant sought legal services from plaintiff and on the basis that Wack, defendant's pre-existing attorney-client relationship with them. So Wack had a pre-existing attorney-client relationship with these attorneys. Because of plaintiff's pre-existing attorney-client relationship with defendants, Wack and the game, and because defendants agreed that they would be responsible to advance and or pay all necessary costs and expenses on time, incident to the representation of the defendants in the matter, and to reimburse the plaintiffs forthwith upon defendants' receipt of a statement for as much of said costs and fees as are paid for or incurred by the plaintiff. So basically, they agreed to pay all costs that were necessary for the lawyers. That means that if they had to fly from California to Chicago and back, those would be paid for. Anything that they had to pay out of pocket as far as subpoenas and all that other stuff, it would be paid for by the defendants, okay? And this was all based off of a pre-existing relationship that was had. Pause. I also have something else to tell y'all about. I have information about the Blueface jeweler with Blue Moon. What happened? How Blueface ended up owing Blue Moon the $100,000. I have that information for y'all too. I'll give that to y'all a little later on. But let's continue with what we're going on, what we're talking about right now. So the plaintiff has performed all acts and services and conditions required by the agreement, as well as the matter to be performed on his part. So they did what they were supposed to do. In rendering the services herein, alleged plaintiff extended time for legal services rendered. So now they had a balance at the time of this of $144,637.71 plus interest hereon at the rate amount of 10% per annum as of September 8th of 2023. This case has not been settled, which means that this case is also accumulating debt. So let me ask y'all a question, y'all down there in the chat. Does it all make sense now? Wack owes the lawyers that represented the game. Not only that, Wack owes the trainer that trained Blueface, and he hasn't paid. Do I need to go on and on? Because don't make me pull up his eviction from the studio that he once had. Wack does not pay. Period. Okay? He doesn't pay. This is the manager. By the way, speaking of payment, let me just bring y'all up to speed on something else before we get into Kim and Kim and Wack and the update on their divorce, but I'm going to give y'all the whole story, okay? Let me, now that we've talked about the game, let me bring your attention to this little document right here. What are you pulling up, Henny? The game's house has been sold, you guys, okay? The game's house has been sold. And it was sold for $2,933,919. Okay. The Calabasas home is now gone. All right. So that's what this is right here. This is the title document of everyone that this title, the hands that it has exchanged. Even in this, you can see where if we look at this closely, we'll be able to see where exactly the title changed hands. It went from JTT Holdings. If you remember, we talked a lot about JTT Holdings. It went from JTT Holdings, and then it went into an interspousal grant deed to Kim and Wack. And then it went just straight to Wack, and he had the trust deed. And then it was sent back to JTT Holdings and all of that. But we also have a trustee deed upon sale. Okay. Now, the trustee deed shows that the property was being sold at auction. Okay. This house was auctioned off, and it was auctioned this in March of this year. So last month. And it went, like I told you, for $2.93 million with the deed recorded in April of this year. They transferred the ownership to the Trust Connected Bank. And this is where things could get a little confusing, but don't worry, we got it. Ownership on the title and beneficial interests are not always the same thing, because when we go to this paper right here, we see that Wack is listed as the registered owner. But the sale, okay, the document history of the property, it showed that there were multiple assignments and liens and court-related conveyances over time, including the names connected to the game and others. So when people ask who's going to get this money from the sale, it doesn't automatically go to whoever's name is sitting at the top of the property record. So it's not going to go to Wack. All right. This is first going to be the sale. It's first going to go to paying off the secured debt and loans that are tied to the deed and the trust. and that's the lender or whoever actually currently holds the note for the house. If there's money left over after that, it goes to the junior lien holder. Anyone who has a recorded claim against the property, right? And if there's still money after all the liens are satisfied, then any surplus can go to the person who held the title or their legal interest. Now, there are judgment creditors. And so now this is where Priscilla will come into the conversation, because her judgment has been tied to assets connected to the game in the past, right? But whether she gets paid from this specific sale depends on whether her judgment is attached to the property and where it falls in priority in comparison to the other liens that are on there. So, for example, if he still has a loan out from when he initially purchased the home, then those people are going to get their money first before she would get hers. So that chain of command I was saying, with the lien holders and the junior lien holders and then the courts, whatever is left over from all of that, she will then get hers if there's people ahead of her that need to be paid off first. Period. Okay, let me just say shout out to Mama Zay for the super chat. She said Wack and Blue are a match made in heaven and deserve each other. Shout out to you. Thank you for the super chat. Oh, Don, thank you for volunteering to get ate up in the damn comments. Because that's what's happening right now. Anyway, so now this basically, just because Wack's name is listed as the owner at some point doesn't mean he walks away with money from the sale. And just because the game is connected to the property doesn't mean that he directly receives anything either. The foreclosure process pays debt first, then liens, then anything left over, if anything is left over, gets distributed. So yeah, I would be interested to see what Priscilla gets from this, if anything at all, because there's a lot of people that have been in line before her. Now, for the main event, let's get here. Wack versus Kim. So like I said, some of y'all have caught this in pieces, and because I've been covering it, right? So y'all have caught this in pieces, but I'm going to give y'all a start to finish as best I can right now. Now, in plain English, what's been going on with Kim and Wack, what's been going on with Kim and Wack, this has been going on for a very long time, okay? So let's go all the way back, as a matter of fact, because the situation between Wack and Kim, the divorce situation, it's been sitting in the court system since 2012. And if we go back, which we're going to go back, and we look at earlier filings, we see restraining orders in 2011 and 2012. Do I need this anymore? No, I don't need that. I can close that out. I don't need this. I can close this out. What is this? 2025. Yeah, I don't need that. Let me close some of these windows out. I don't need this anymore. Oh, I closed out some of the windows that I do need. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I can pull those back up if need be. But if you go back and you look at some of my previous videos where I have talked about Wack and Kim's divorce, you'll see that there are restraining orders that are in there where twice there was a restraining order for domestic violence in 2011 and in 2012. Okay. And in all, let me just go ahead and let me pull it up. Let me not do y'all like that. Let's just pull it up. I'm pulling it up. Hold on, you guys. I'm coming. Shout out to y'all for being here and being so patient. All right, we got the documents. We got the content. All right, so boom. That's 2016, 2012, 2012, 2012, 10, 11. Boom, let's start it here. So 2011, restraining order for domestic violence, right? So y'all can follow along with me. 2012, restraining order. For domestic violence. Y'all see it. I'm not making this up. $2012. They did post-judgment matters. 2012. They were going through mediation. Okay. Let me slow walk y'all through this. On August 7th, right? The hearing that happened on August 7th, which is this paper right here. The court notes that Wack didn't appear in court. And because when one party doesn't show up, the judge hears from one person. So they heard Kim's side of everything, right? And that means that the judge makes all the decisions. Well, Kim testified, and based on that, the court gave her sole legal custody and sole physical custody over the children. And that means that she makes all decisions, and the children live with her, right? So they went through custody. They went through the visitations. You know, he had limited weekends. He was supposed to pick the kids up on the second and fourth weekend of the month. And with Kim making, at the time, she was making $4,800 a month, and Wack's estimated income back then was supposed to be $11,560 a month. Because of that gap, the child support and spousal support was to be paid twice a month on the 1st and 15th. Okay. So in 2012, the court has already established that Kim had custody of the kids and Wack had limited visitations with ongoing support. Now, when we get over here, we're going to jump into 2016 because that is the next time that they show up into court, right? That's the next time they show up to court. Now, the court said that the case had been placed on suspended status for failure to move forward to the judgment. And that's because nobody showed up to court for the divorce proceeding. So no divorce was finalized and it was suspended. Remember that 2016, it was suspended. So now we're going to fast forward to where Kim, I'm looking for the document to where Kim went to get it reinstated. Is this the document? No. Okay. Boom. So now Kim goes to try to get the status reinstated, right? And she tells the courts basically that the case is over a decade old. The children are now adults, so she doesn't need the child support anymore. She wanted the focus to shift to the property and assets that were never divided. And that's what she wanted, okay? Because the divorce was never fully finished, and anything acquired during the marriage that qualifies as community property is still on the table. So anything that Wack has acquired during their marriage, if it's considered community property, it's on the table, and vice versa. Okay. And vice versa. Now, at first, the court denied her, which is what I have on the screen for y'all, because when she went to go set aside the suspension and restore the case to an active status, they denied it. Which I can't understand why they would deny it, because if we've been separated and living separately for all of these years from 2016, and now when she did this was in 2025. We've been separated for about 10 years. Why not? Okay. Instead, the judge keeps on a special status, but Kim continued to push the paperwork. Kim continued to push forward because she was not accepting and taking no for an answer because she wants out of this. She wants out of it. Okay? So, being that she got denied, being that she's had to fight, Kim has now gone and taken her case to small claims court. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I said small claims court. She's taken her case to family court. Okay? That means that the court has set a trial. The court set the case for trial. That means the courts are now ready to hear and decide whether, or whatever I should say, was left unresolved. That means the primary properties, their assets, the financial issues from a marriage that dates back to 2000. And a separation that, depending on the filing, is placed at around 2022. So 2016, they didn't show up to court. 2022 is when it's on record as them being separated, legally separated in 2022, which is just a couple of years ago. So right now, the divorce is still active and heading to trial. And anything that qualifies as community property is about to be examined. Any and everything. Oh, did I even show y'all this? I didn't. Okay. And this was just filed the other day. Kim wants away from Wack. I would say that that is enough for Wack to have his panties in a bunch, because Kim don't want to have nothing to do with him. I hope I broke that down good enough for y'all. Henny Glasses in the chat, if that brought y'all up to speed with everything that was going on with Wack and Kim. Oh, Lord. Y'all are cutting up. I wasn't even looking in the chat. Y'all wasn't paying attention. Y'all was too busy dragging what may have been beast in here on a lurker page. So now you add to the fact that his wife just experienced a win with somebody that he can't stand. But even that comes into play, because last night I had the pleasure of being on Danza's live on the Danza Project. Shout out to Danza, because Danza is who I got my tickets through, you know, because of you beautiful people in the comments, because of y'all. So shout out to y'all. You know, y'all were telling Danza, just give it to Henny. Give Henny my ticket. If I win, give it to Henny. And Danza heard y'all. And Danza said, Henny, I'm going to declare you the winner. He paid for my airfare to get out there. My ticket was sponsored by Damon Feldman by X Rumble. I had great seats. I had a great night. I was right there. You had the seats that were inside of the ring. Like there was a police barrier and there was seats there. I was in the row right behind there. I had great seats. W Danza for sure. Shout out to him. Amazing. I I will always have respect for Danza, you know, because he's just a dope person from what I see, you know, he's a dope person. Now, Danza recently did an interview with Wack, and he shared a portion of I won't say a portion of his interview, because he said the cameras were off. And while the cameras were off, Wack had something to say to him. Let's take a listen.
Yeah. Shout out to Chrisean for winning.
Let's go.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
W Chrisean in the chat. W Holy Hands in the chat.
Like, thank you, because it was a feel good moment.
She needed that win.
Yeah.
Now hold up. If she would have lost, what would have happened?
Been sad.
What would the internet be like right now?
They would be here.
Like,
Everybody would know.
Think about that.
Let me tell you what would have happened if she would have lost. Chaos and confusion would have ensued. It would have made the news. There were so many Chrisean supporters in the building, and we would have cut up. I would have been filming it because somebody has to tell the story. I wish that I could play my damn sound effects. I don't think y'all hear that. Do y'all hear my sound? Y'all don't hear my sound effects. When I tell you chairs would have been flying in there, it would have been such a major upset. The headlines would have been different. The headlines would have been very, very different, and it would have been a very viral moment for a lot of different reasons. But at the end of the day, definitely Chrisean deserved that win. It was great to see her take a step in a whole different direction and prove the naysayers and the haters wrong. Right? Okay, Monique, look, I looked down at the chat, and it's the first thing I said. She said it would have been a fight within a fight. I'm trying to tell you.
Everybody would know about.
She had
fight.
a big rollout of her training and her boxing and her focus and this, and then people love to see you fall too. Yeah, there's already people rooting for her to fall, even though she won.
And that's the crazy part, because even though she won, there are people that are out here that are, you know, saying, "Oh, it was rigged, it was fixed, it was this, it was that." Baby, no. If you watch the same fight that I watched, there's no way that you could come to that conclusion. There's no way you could come to that conclusion. Them girls was in there fighting. They was brawling, okay? Neither one of them were boxing. Both of them forgot all of their training. They was slanging around. I said, wait a minute. What we doing here? You can't do that. Child. Haters are going to hate, and I got a message for you haters when this is done.
And let me tell you something. Let me get into breaking news.
Oh shit!
Because we interviewed Wack 100.
Brace yourselves.
Prior to the fight,
Uncle Wack.
And I said, Wack, man, I shut off the camera. I forgot to ask you about Chrisean. Because let me tell you something. Chrisean could fight Claressa Shields.
That sounds insane.
He said that even if she loses, she wins. But she's got so much heart, and she's got the personality for it and the celebrity status for it, that if they put Chrisean up, and they're saying like he's saying like a continuance, like she fights a few more fights, and they put her in front of Claressa, Chrisean will do it, and it'll be a good fight, and it'll blow women's boxing up.
Let's pause. Let's pause for a second. Claressa Shields is shouting Chrisean out. Chrisean is shouting Claressa Shields out. I'm not going to say that Chrisean would not box Claressa Shields, because Chrisean is not scary. But Wack saying Chrisean has the heart to do it. And saying that it would blow women's boxing up. Wack saying this.
And I was like,
Wack be nailing these sometimes.
That's a good take.
Wack be nailing those sometimes.
I'm not mad at that because she is gonna need a few fights in order to get that conditioning right. And Wack might be on to something for sure.
Yeah, he's right, but they hate Wack 100 a lot because of what he does to Chrisean. He's done to Chrisean historically. So
that's a fact. That's a fact. Because of what he said and what he's done historically in the past, we have a hard time taking anything that he says seriously. But to hear that he is behind the scenes saying things like this off camera, sounds very reminiscent to what we've already heard. And what we've heard in the past is that Blueface does the same thing. Okay, look. Ari said, you right about that, Danza. That's scary coming from his mouth.
I heard him speak like that. I was like, you say that again? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that was actually off camera?
Yeah.
I thought you lied to him and you had it recorded.
Nah, man, I wish I did because he was speaking. He was like, I'm telling you, man, and I was like, yeah. I was like, if she stays away from Blueface, he's like, yeah, I mean,
I think
he's like, they both need to stay away from each other, but her life is going so much better without him. And I hope she keeps going down her path.
She's healthy, she's slimmed down.
And I was like, this motherfucker, you know, goddamn cameras off.
Might be the next Zuffa.
You know?
Exactly, Danza. This motherfucker knows that the camera is off. He knows the camera is off. You hit it right on the head. Right. When he was like, say that again, I'm like, damn, you didn't get that. Let me explain something to y'all. For those who don't know, we've heard oftentimes that everything that we see is not how it goes behind the scenes. And I'm telling you right now that I am starting to believe that a lot of this is for clicks, likes, and views. But I wouldn't fuck with none of them. Not one of them. Beast, I don't know why you're in here. I don't know why you're in here under a fake page, trolling again, using a picture of a black man when you're a white man. A black woman with beautiful teeth, and you ain't got damn. I don't know why you're in here. Because you're the only one that comes in here talking about your general. Fuck you and your general. Back to what I was saying. Wack been knew Chrisean's potential. But Wack is about his money. And he couldn't make money with Chrisean. And I said this in the beginning. He makes money dragging Chrisean. Wack knows good and damn well. Did you hear what Danza said? Danza said that Wack said, let's play this part again.
Let's see.
He said, and even if she loses, she wins.
Let's play it again.
But she's got so much heart, and she's got the personality for it and the celebrity status for it that if they put Chrisean up, and they're saying like a continue,
the personality for it and the celebrity for it. But this man was on a whole campaign saying that Chrisean had no clout, that Chrisean needed Blueface, that Chrisean could do nothing without Blueface, that she had to mention him, that she had to be around him, that she had to. No, she didn't. She proved that to y'all. Chrisean had this internet in a chokehold by herself. But let me go back a second. And don't y'all come for me in the chat when I say this. Chrisean went viral with Bino. Remember her relationship with Hood Trophy Bino? They said she couldn't go viral with nobody but Blueface. She went viral with Bino. Hello? And it wasn't even just on no toxic shit. Bino wasn't being toxic to her on camera, treating her like shit, stepping all on her, making her lower, making it seem like she's lower than what she is. She went kind of viral with Fiji, but not the way that she did with Bino. And they said that she couldn't do it, but she did. You said that she couldn't go viral without him for anything else except for talking about him, getting into shit with him, XYZ, XYZ. She went viral boxing. Your man's, he'll have a viral moment where he might be talked about for the hour and then it's over. He might be the topic of conversation for an hour.
Saying like a continuance, like she fights a few more fights and they put her in front of Clarissa, Chrisean will do it and it'll be a good fight and it'll blow women's boxing up. And I was like,
Wack be nailing
that's a good take.
Now let me say this. Everything that Chrisean has been attached to has blown up. Chrisean has had the Midas touch for everything that she's been on. And I'm not saying that being a glizzy gobbler or none of that. I'm saying that because it's the truth. Chrisean revived Blueface's dying career. Because none of us were checking for a Blueface after Tatiana. Okay? Chrisean got on Zeus, got on Baddies. Baddies had already filmed a season. A lot of people didn't even know that Baddies had a Baddies ATL. Because nobody was watching like that. But when she got on Baddies South, she brought everybody to Baddies. She blew Zeus Network up. Whether they want to give her flowers for that or not, she is the one who had the first viral clip for Baddies that made everybody tune in. Rumble, they bet on her. Rumble is going to blow up. Watch what I tell you. People signed up to fight on the card. Because remember, it was just Chrisean and Zenith. And then these other fights came into play. Oh, we got another one, y'all. We got another one in the chat. Y'all sound stupid. You sound stupid because you don't know the history. See, here's the problem with a lot of people that give commentary on Chrisean, on Blueface, and all of that. Y'all aren't in the sector. So y'all don't see everything. Y'all get bits and clips and pieces from people who have nothing better to do than to wish for somebody else's downfall. The problem is there are so many people who have made big bags off of dragging Chrisean, dragging her son. They make huge bags off of doing that every day consistently to the point where they have to wake up every day and come up with a new narrative just so they can have something to talk about every day. That's negative. No matter what she does, they find the negativity in it. No matter what she says, they pick it apart and make it negative. And it gets exhausting. And the thing is, y'all don't even have a valid reason to feel the way that y'all feel. Y'all act as if this girl did something negative to you personally, like you have been personally victimized by Regina George. Well, stop trying to make fetch happen. She's not a part of the circus anymore. She doesn't go after Blueface. She's not being around him. She's not chasing after him. She's not leaving herself in a toxic situation. She's not dealing with it. Will she talk to him? Of course she's going to talk to him. Blueface is her baby daddy, regardless of what y'all want to see, think, feel, or whatever. That's her baby daddy. Because if he wasn't the baby daddy for real, those DNA test results would have been flying around the internet quicker than you could blink your eyes and fart out your ass. That's his child. But in case you haven't been paying attention, he's the type of father that if I can't hit the punani and have access to you when I want it, I don't want to have anything to do with you. Hence how Jaden is trapped in that situation. We've been telling you for a very long time who the problem was. Y'all don't see it. Y'all don't see him doing the same shit he did to Chrisean, to this new girl, Nevaeh, except now he's worse. Y'all don't see that? Chrisean has moved past all of this into a whole new arena of things. And y'all still pick. And y'all still twisting up fucking narratives like nobody's business. Clearly, she slipped in the ring. They want to say she got knocked down. She wins the fight. Before she even won the fight, they were saying if Chrisean wins, it's rigged. So y'all were starting your narratives before the fight even went down. And pushing your narratives into your audience's head because you've got an audience of sheeple who can't think for themselves. They need somebody else to think for them and tell them how to perceive people because they've dumbed themselves so far down that they can't even begin to use common sense. All of this shit, and I don't talk about this, but I'm going to go here for a second. And let me take Danza off the screen so Danza doesn't get caught up in what I'm about to say, because it may be a little controversial to some. Let me just say this. Y'all out there that believe all of these narratives about her son is an innocent child. He should never be a topic of conversation for anybody. But if all of this stuff that is going on, that y'all are claiming is going on, where the baby don't eat, she's starving the baby, she's abusing the baby's got bruises and bleeding and this and that, and the baby's got this syndrome and that syndrome and that syndrome and that syndrome. If all of that shit was going on, common sense tells you that the baby would have been taken a long time ago. Something would have been exposed a long time ago. You think pastors are going to stand beside her? Business people are going to stand beside her and risk their brand, knowing that there's something going on? The shit that y'all come up with is sick, twisted, it's diabolical, and it's disgusting. It's none of your fucking business what's going on with her child. That's her child. She's told y'all that the baby is getting physical therapy. Leave it the fuck alone. Leave that baby the fuck alone. Y'all said that this baby was the size of an infant. Hold on one second. Let me pull this up real quick. Y'all said the baby was below weight. Y'all said that the baby was so tiny. He's so tiny and he's so frail. Coming from the fucking Black Boy George with the come chameleon hat on the back of his head, hair flipping and shit. Talking, okay, are you okay? No, bitch, are you fucking okay? Talking about you're being an activist for a child, yet you're bullying a fucking child every fucking day. Every day. Every day. Every day. Let me ask y'all this. Does this baby look like he's the size of a 1-year-old? Does he look malnourished to you? He's so frail. And y'all dumb motherfuckers believe this shit. Some of y'all get up there, y'all are grannies. Y'all ain't got no teeth in your fucking mouth. Your titties swing low down to your fucking ankles that are swollen because you got all that water weight in your fucking ankles. And y'all believe every fucking thing that gets said. This is a child. And y'all dumb motherfuckers who got kids can't even put 2 and 2 together to think that if shit was going on like how they're saying it's going on, but you want to believe that she's paying everybody off. Well, which one is it? Because y'all say she broke, but then she got all this money to pay people. The baby didn't have the surgery, yet we got footage of the surgery. So now because we got footage of the surgery, y'all want to say he needs multiple surgeries. And I know y'all getting a lot of y'all fucking narratives from his mammy. Now, I did something yesterday that I don't normally do, which is I left the comments on this baby's picture right here. Because what I want y'all to look at is, this is his cousin right here in the back. In the jean shorts. I don't know if y'all can see my cursor or not, but the little girl in the jean shorts is Amiri. That's her brother Petey's daughter. It looks like Chrisean Jesus might come to her chest. He don't look like he teeny tiny itty bitty to me, and like he's all shrunken and destitute, and like he's just. Can y'all leave the baby alone? Can we kill the narratives now? Y'all drag Chrisean for everything she does, and this girl just literally showed y'all, I don't need Blueface. I don't need Carlissa. I don't need Wack. I don't need nothing from the circus. I don't need the circus. She showed you I don't want to have nothing to do with the circus. Y'all say that her walk with God is fake. The girl's been on her path consistently since she came home from prison. She's always talked about God, even when she was in the wilderness lost, getting her lessons. And I'm going to need Chrisean to stop saying and crying and feeling bad because she feels like she messed up her first chance at life. No, baby. You have to go through a lesson. Everybody's got to go through their season of learning lessons and getting testimony. Everybody has to go through that season, and you went through that season, and we watched you go through that season. Had she not gone through that season, people who are really spiritual, whether you are spiritual by faith or you're just a spiritual being, you see what it is. You see what it is. She did this by herself, on her own, her and her son, getting up every day, going to that gym, being dedicated, going to church on Sundays, being dedicated, praying for everything that she does. Before anything that she does, she prayed in the back before she went out. She prayed when she got into that ring. She prayed after she got the victory in that ring. That's not fake, baby. That's real. The problem is some of y'all don't have no God in your life. So you don't even understand it. And I'm saying that as a grown-ass woman. Anyway, back to what we were talking about over here. So let's get back into what was being said over there on Danza. Hold on a second, because this thing is acting bonkers. So let's finish dissecting this.
Be nailing
See, I'm not mad at that because she is gonna need a few fights in order to get that conditioning right. And Wack might be onto something for sure.
Yeah, he's right, but they hate Wack 100 a lot because of what he does to Chrisean. He's done to Chrisean historically. So when I heard him speak like that, I was like, Say that again.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, that was actually off camera?
Yeah.
I thought you lied to him and you had it recorded.
Nah, man, I wish I did, because he was speaking. He was like, I'm telling you, man, and I was like, yeah. I was like, if she stays away from Blueface, he's like, yeah, I mean,
I think
he's like, they both need to stay away from each other, but her life is going so much better without him. And I hope she keeps going down her path.
She's healthy. She's slimmed down.
And I was like, this motherfucker. You know the goddamn camera's off.
Might be the next Zufa.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But it would be dope.
Yeah.
The cameras were off. Now, I want to also draw your attention to this. Right here. I want to draw your attention to this. Now, before we get into the Forbes magazine, let's get into what Zero said. Zero said, as a recovering womanizer, she had to get away from Blue to get some light in her darkness. They all got devil's ways, especially the Wack boy. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. But now, Chrisean made it all the way to Forbes magazine. Forbes. Do you hear me? Chrisean Rock versus Zenith Zion results, highlights, and reactions. Okay, it says, in a fight that was as wild and non-technical as one might expect, reality TV star Chrisean Rock scored a knockdown and shook off a controversial knockdown to defeat Zenith Zion via split decision in a 3-round crossover boxing match in Chester, Pennsylvania on Saturday night. This fight and event had a lot happening, and I'm not sure any of it was good. Here's something to chew on, and we get into it all. Floyd Mayweather Sr. was the referee for the main event, and Fatima Mayweather, Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s sister, because Wack was saying that wasn't Floyd Mayweather's sister, but that's his sister, okay, fought in the co-main event. Yes, it was wild. Rock locked up the win with a few Rock locked up the win with a few better combinations. And by bullying Zion in the ring with pressure. I'm careful not to use too many traditional boxing terms for this one because there was nothing traditional about it. The split decision verdict came after 3 rounds that included a legitimate round 1 knockdown by Rock and a head-scratching round 3 knockdown called against her by Mayweather Sr. Official scorecards weren't published, but at least one judge had it for Zenith, despite Rock controlling the bulk of the action. Compare that to the overly involved officiating in the Deontay Wilder versus Derek, I don't know that name, Chrisean results earlier this month, and the contrast is harder to miss. Rock appeared to have the most power of the 2 women when she landed I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to read over here. Okay, when she landed, she consistently drove Zenith backwards. Here's a look at the first round knockdown Rock scored. So they gave you this right here. Okay. The biggest moment came round 1 when Rock clipped Zion with a clean right hand that put her down. Mayweather Sr. gave Zion an extended count that some thought was unusually long, which it was. It should have been done. But anyway, Mayweather Sr. gave extended count, but Zion beat it and the fight continued. Late in round 3, Mayweather called a phantom knockdown on Rock that observers questioned in real time. Then both fighters embraced in tears as the Rocky theme played and Tommy Lee climbed in to console Rock. Many fans took shots at the overall quality of the event, but others wondered how anyone scored the fight for Zion. One commenter on X said, "This whole event is I don't know. The bulk of the criticism landed on Mayweather Sr.'s officiating, with both his extended count for Zion's knockdown and his round 3 knockdown call against Rock drawing widespread questioning. Boxing purists piled on the defense and balance from both the post-fight emotion, regardless of the technical quality. The obvious next step is the rematch. The controversy alone makes the second fight an easier sell than this one was. Pause. How was that an easier sell than this one was when it was sold out? What's poppin'? Sidebar. How is that? When the event sold out 3 times. How was it a harder sell? Both women showed enough heart to justify another ex-Rumble booking, and Zion in particular comes out with credit despite the loss. If a rematch isn't the play, Rock has crossover potential like Tretch and Pepper's daughter, Egypt Chris, already on the table from earlier in the year. So let's talk about that. I watched the fight from the front row. We watched it already. Everybody knows it's a slip, but the haters are going to say what the haters are going to say. And I apologize for stumbling through reading. Okay. Exactly. There was not, let me tell y'all something. Matter of fact, let me show y'all something. Because there wasn't an empty seat. There was people standing. There were people standing. Hold on. First of all, shout out to me for the footage. Look at the crowd in the back. Do you see? Zenith was coming in, but do you see everybody packed in there? All right. Now, hold on. I didn't get a clear of Chrisean coming in, but everybody, let me see if I can get to the part where I showed everyone that everybody was standing. Everybody was on their feet. Is this it? I'm going to show y'all where everybody was on their feet. It was so packed in there. People were against the wall. Like, there was no room to walk. The room was so packed. There it is. Right there. Look at this. Do y'all see this? You can't say that this event was not anticipated. You cannot say that this event did not sell out 3 times. Look at all of these people. Packed. So don't believe the hype. Yeah, I was shaky with my camera. A lot of people had a lot of things to say, but before I even mention what people had to say, let me say this. Shout out to everybody that tuned in and watched while I was live. To everybody that said thank you, you're welcome. I did that so that everybody could get the vibe in real time, feel the energy of what was going on in that moment. Yes. Okay, and there you go. You see the stumble. Hold on. Stumble. Now, so all of y'all that was sitting up there, y'all were upset because the camera was shaking and all of that. You get your ass out there to a fight. Stand on a chair. Be all in it. And tell me you can hold your camera steady. But thank you for watching, though. Thank you for watching, though. Hey, Uda on go. What's poppin', Uda? Salute to my girl Henny and the gang. Thank you for being in the Harrods in real time. No doubt. No doubt. But don't believe the hype that people are saying that this event, it wasn't sold out. They put the tickets back and then put it back to make it seem like they sold out. No, they really did sell out. And this looked like sold out 3 times. Because like I said, there were people in there that didn't even have a seat. They were standing. And people like me who had a seat and was standing on a seat. And I was standing on a seat because I'm little. And I wanted to see, goddamn. So, yes, don't believe the damn hype. Wack is a hater. And anybody that follows the Wack narrative, you're a hater too. And one more thing, I want to say this. Danza, while he did not make it to the event, I did have someone that made it with me. And I want to say a very special shout out to Uniquely Yours, who y'all know as the head sniper in charge, okay? Uniquely was there with me. And everything I feel worked out as, you know, it should. She decided when I finally got the information on my ticket and all of that, she booked her flight, she booked her hotel room, and she was like, I'm going with you. And she came with me, and I'm grateful for her coming with me because I would have been traveling by myself. And it's not that I can't travel by myself, but let's be real, traveling by yourself is boring as hell, right? So I'm grateful that she came with me. Also, Danza not being able to make it worked out to where Uniquely got to have the other seat. And she also got a VIP guest lanyard that I didn't get, but I ain't gonna go there because I was very upset I ain't get my VIP guest lanyard. But I'm glad she got one because she has something to hold on to and commemorate, you know, her being there. So it was very dope. I ended up getting a t-shirt. I have a t-shirt from the event. It was super, super dope. So thank you so much, Danza and Damon Feldman. Thank you Uniquely for coming. Thank you to the Henny gang for, you know, nominating me. I appreciate y'all so much. I really hope that I did y'all justice. I am working on a video for y'all that highlights a lot of the events of me meeting y'all, some of the behind the scenes stuff. You might get some of the subscriber only lives that I did, as well as a clip that'll be on my other channel and probably over here too. But at the end of the day, let me just say this. It takes a lot of heart, a lot of courage, a lot of strength to be able to change trajectory for your life. Imagine having to go through your ups and downs in a very public arena and have people judging you every step of the way. None of us are perfect. We all have a past. And if we had cameras on us following us through some of our most darkest moments in time, we would be judged and dragged too. So just because there wasn't a camera on you doesn't mean that you forget. I commend any effort for anyone to change their life and to take a chance and to do it so publicly and so openly. I want y'all to understand her supporters are always going to support her, whether y'all like it or not. And no amount of hate could ever change what's been destined to happen. Not for Chrisean, not for me, not for any of you. What's written for you and what's meant for you is going to happen for you. If you don't take anything else away from any of this, let this be a lesson to show you that at any point in time, you can turn your life around and make your life what you want it to be. You can always rewrite your script. It can always be rewritten. Now, that I've said all of that. I will be keeping y'all up to date on what's going on when it comes down to Wack and the divorce with Kim, because Kim is not playing. I want to also say shout out and salute to Kim. Okay? A woman who is making moves and who's been riding with Chrisean through this journey. Shout out to her. Shout out to her for her managerial skills, for the connections, for the business deals that she feels have been a good fit for Chrisean. Shout out to the coaches and the trainers. Shout out to everyone who is now looking like, yo, this young lady she's really doing something different with her life. First of all, you're saying whoop whoop, and it's supposed to be womp womp, and you can't even spell it right. If you're trying to troll, you're not trolling it. You're not trolling right. Now, if you're cheering and going whoop whoop, then okay, fine. But if you're trying to be funny and say womp womp, you spelled it wrong. I hope you're not trolling. I hope you're not trolling. Please don't be trolling, cuz baby. Okay. Oh, Lord. Okay. Oh, yeah, you are trolling, but you can't spell. It was all her fans that brought them out, and you was one of them. Bitch, I ain't buy it. Stupid. Dummy. Oh my God. I take it back. I take it back. You're not trolling. She said, I don't troll. I didn't know how to take that. I'm going to just tell you right now, I didn't know how to take that. Because at the end of the day, you was like, all her fans brought them out and you was one of them. So I don't know how to take that, because you know how it gets when it is Chrisean. I apologize. I apologize. Selena is in the building. The chat is a hot mess today. I can't even tell who's who. Now they're going to be like, I went over there to Henny's channel and she cursed me out. Look, everybody thought you was trolling. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I be on go mode. When I be talking about Chrisean, I be on go mode. I'm sorry. I apologize. She caught a stray, y'all. She caught a stray. But listen, all of us thought you was trolling, so it wasn't just me. But, you know, I still apologize because I was wrong for that. I should have asked. I did ask. I said, I don't know if you're trying to say whoop whoop or whoop. You know, womp womp. I don't know. I didn't know. And I apologize. I do apologize. Look, everybody's saying sorry, girl. Wait, what happened? That's the beauty of trolling. It's subliminal. She said, I'm here talking mess. Let me go back to work. Chat is definitely playing defense. We've been through it. Okay. Listen, we've been through it. Okay. Thank you, Monique. You too. We've been through it. They be taking us through there. Sidebar, you acting? Yes, I was acting up. I had to apologize. My bad. I'm not above apologizing. I am not above apologizing. Okay. And listen, sometimes it gets, look, everybody apologizes at, oh, my bad. Because people was like, listen, we get real defensive up in here. All right. But in the meantime and in between time, we are supposed to be taking ourselves over to the Twitch bar. But I actually think I need a break right now. I need to go eat something because I'm a little hangry. It's her birthday. Oh my God. I'm going to be 52 on May 2nd. Oh, what? You told her happy birthday early. Shauna D, you could listen. Okay, I'm getting out the chat. I can't with y'all with the chat. Oh, Lord, Zero. I don't even know what you did, but you getting attacked in the comments, baby. Yes, happy early birthday. I don't know what you said, Zero. I don't know what you did. I don't even want to scroll up to see. Until next time, America, maybe I should say. Okay, the baby's name is Chrisean Jesus. I don't know what's being said, but his name is Chrisean Jesus. Chrisean made that very clear. She does not want him called Junior. And her name is not Chrisean Rock. It's Chrisean. Oh, Lord, listen. Oh, God. In or out, chat. Oh, my God. Here we go. Y'all, I don't know what you did. You went from saying something right to getting they voting on putting you out. I don't know what you done did. Well, I could stay on with y'all for a little bit longer. If you mods, can y'all please drop the link to the Twitch bar? Drop the link to the Twitch bar. We're going over to Twitch. Over on Twitch, we're going to talk about Megan Thee Stallion and this whole hot girl movement that they've got going on called Cheat First. Also, we're going to get into David, a little bit about David, because I haven't spoke on David in a minute. So we're going to get on David. You know, I'm going to drop the videos over here. If you don't have Twitch or you can't make it to the Twitch bar, I will be clipping up and putting stuff over here. My clipper is over here. Chrisean Overhand Rock. He's Chrisean Overhand Rock. Uh-oh. Thank you for the super chat. K-Pat said out. They want you gone. Henny said he wasn't against people showing up to the fight. Girl, please don't tell me anything that the Black Boy George has said. I don't give a fuck about what he says and does, because he is a bottom feeder. And I'm just being real. He's a bottom feeder. Anybody that creates content on a daily basis about a child and spews venom and lies, doesn't do their own research, takes whatever anybody gives them at face value, you know, doesn't bother to check shit, just goes with it because it's salacious, you're a bottom feeder. Uniquely, can you drop the Twitch bar? Listen, Uniquely dropped the Twitch bar link. Y'all head over to Twitch. We're going to be ending this over here on YouTube, and we're going to be carrying on over at Twitch, on Twitch. So y'all join us over there. In the meantime and in between time, thank you to everybody who tuned in and tapped in. I will see y'all in the next pour. High vibes to everyone's day, and we will see you later. Peace, y'all.